Hello and welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show. And I'm sure glad that you are here with me today. My name is Jim Landers, and my mission is to uplift portrait photographers to make a great income doing what they love. Each week, you get tips and systems on the business side of photography designed to help you gain a mastery over marketing and sales, reducing the struggles that most photographers face so you can finally get what you deserve. You are in the right place. Welcome to the Portrait Profit Show. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. For Digital Pro Lab, Amanda and her team are there to serve you and make you look like a hero. Man, go to digitalprolab.com to get more information about Digital Pro Lab and the things that they do to make you look great. And of course, it's also sponsored by my company, Landers Photography School. I help people become career photographers. Now, I've got photography classes as well, and I love teaching those. But man, I've really come to love the teaching side, the business side of photography. Because there are too many of us that are struggling. There's too many of us that come to the conclusion that photography is not a good business for a career. And it is. If you do certain things that you wouldn't know that you're supposed to do unless you were working with someone who had done it. It's not obvious. Some of the things are, but not everything, not enough. So reach out to me at jim@landersphotoschool.com to get more information or just talk to me in the comments section right now. I want to invite you to share the Portrait Profit Show. I want you to like and love every time you hear something that you resonate with, that you like. And I want you to comment and ask questions. Right there in the comment section, just post your thought, post your question, and if I get to it, I might be able to answer it. I will afterwards if I can't during, but make comments, share your thoughts, share your experiences. Right now in the comment section, I want you to do me a favor and enter in hashtag live in the comment section right now to let me know that you are here and that you are watching, that you're here with me. By the way, if you're watching this as the replay, enter in hashtag replay. Today, we're here to talk about, and I wanted to make that smaller. There we go. Client workflow for the best client experience. You know, most photographers want to create a truly memorable experience for their clients, the kind that they'll tell all their friends about, what I call share worthy. We want to give them an experience so amazing that it keeps them coming back throughout our career and turns them into raving fans for our business. But delivering that level of consistent wow is easier said than done. And too many think that they're doing just that. But it turns out that they are doing pretty much what every other photographer is doing. They're not every other photographer, so they don't know that they're doing the same things that others are doing. Coming up with creative ideas is one thing, but creating systems, building it into a repeatable workflow, well, that's another thing altogether, and it is challenging. Well, in this episode of the Portrait Profit Show, I'm going to walk you through a comprehensive step by step workflow that creates opportunities to elevate the client experience at every stage, from that very first contact all the way through delivery, and whatever that entails for you and your business. By following this workflow, you'll create an experience so fun, so memorable, and so share worthy that your ideal client simply can't resist becoming raving fans who enthusiastically refer others. You'll discover imaginative ways to inject wow moments, guide clients through a premium journey, and ultimately turn one time clients into some of your biggest supporters. All right, it's time to take some notes because this is something that will invigorate you and cause you to stand out from the competition. And isn't that what you want? Of course it is. All right, let's start off by uh, So I'm looking at the comments real quick, and it says Facebook user, so I don't know who's saying it, but I'll find out afterwards. It says, I'm watching as long as I can in Philly, getting off a plane. So thank you for that, going through that much trouble to watch the Portrait Prophet show. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing it too. And so let's see. uh, right now we're going to be talking about brainstorming the ideal client experience, because before we dive into the specifics of the client workflow that I'm going to share with you, by the way, there's a lot of different client workflows. There's a lot of different pieces and parts that you could choose. I'm going to share with you today mine, so that you have an idea of what one is. But I want you to apply what you learned today to what you do, and use the parts that you feel you can use, glean some information off of it to be able to use it with your own. So we need to start with the foundation by clearly defining what your ideal client looks and feels like. We we don't jump into tactics without first getting intentional about the memorable experience for our clients. Every photographer's version of their ideal client workflow is going to be different. Sometimes a little bit different, sometimes ridiculously amount of difference, but it's going to be based on your brand, your style, and your ideal clients, which hopefully you've already defined those things. But if you haven't, well, take a moment to identify who your ideal client is. Describe this person. Now, I don't think I have to explain why it's important to brainstorm, but just in case, why brainstorm this? Well, because you must first define the ideal experience before building a process around it. The second reason is it enhances the targeting of your brand and your clients. And number three, it prompts creative thinking about how the personal touches and wow moments that can set you apart. And number four, it frames your workflow to support and deliver on your share worthy experience. So let's brainstorm. What do you want your dream client experience to entail? What little wow moments or special touches can you incorporate? We'll be talking about those. I'm not expecting you to answer that or know the answer to that right away. What do you want clients to be thinking? How do you want them to perceive what it is you do and what you're doing? How about how they're feeling about that? And saying at each step of working, or each stage of working with you. Maybe it's a beautiful welcome package that you send out after they book with you. Some do that, some don't. It's all totally up to you. Or red carpet treatment when they get to your studio, or whenever they're in your presence if you don't have a studio. You could implement a stringent process around keeping their images and personal information ultra secure. There's some ways to do that by registering your image. In fact, we're going to be having a conversation about that later on, not today, in another episode. How about creative ways to reveal and display their portraits? This is your chance to dream big and get clear on your ideal share worthy experience from the client's perspective. Now, yes, you're thinking about it from your perspective. You're the one who's going to be doing it. But I want you to think about it from your client's perspective so you can get a feel of what they're going to receive, how they're going to see you. At each step of this process, I'm going to ask you to brainstorm it from the client's point of view and timeline it from both your point of view and their point of view. Once we define the vision, everything else that we cover will be intentionally designed to bring that share worthy experience to life. Now, I want to give you some more thought ideas, some to help you brainstorm. First, ask yourself, if I was the client, what would absolutely blow me away? Think about personal experiences that really impressed you as a customer. What was it that made it stand out? What was it that made it memorable? Chances are it's something little, something that didn't cost them much, but it touched you. It made you feel special. So, what little extras could you add that most photographers wouldn't think to do, or don't have time to do, or don't value? The second, I want you to do a competitive analysis. Look at what other photographers are doing, especially high end ones. Identify any opportunities that they may have missed from your point of view to truly surprise and delight their clients. So you're analyzing what someone else is doing and using that to make your situation even better. The third, get inspiration from other industries. How do luxury hotels, high end restaurants, elite brands deliver VIP experiences? In my E3 class, which is the sales list and pricing system, the price list and sales system. It's funny how I turned that around. So in my E3 program, the price list and sales system, this is one of the assignments that I have them do, my students do, is go to places that they perceive as high end. Now, what one person perceives as high end is going to be different than what someone else perceives as high end. That's great. That's not a negative. That is a positive. That's wonderful. We all want to deliver our own unique experience that is going to wow our clients. So go to this, whatever you consider a high end or luxury or elite brand, go to them. What impressive personal touches or attention to detail can you borrow from them? Number four, conduct client interviews and surveys. Ask your ideal clients what has wowed you with working when working with other businesses. Have them describe the experience for you so you have an idea of what they want. Now, you're only going to do that with your best clients most likely, but still they are the ones you want to get more of, right? So then it's perfect. Number 5, create a client experience timeline. Ev I want you to list every single touch point in the client journey from inquiry to delivery. Now, you guys have seen me put up the graphic before, and I might as well do it right now. So I'll put that graphic up. You're going to be listing every single touch point in your client journey. Your client journey may be different than mine. The one you see on the screen right now is my client journey. These are all the touch points. These are all the times when I can give an extra wow to my clients. At each step, I want you to identify ways to give them wow moments and share worthy experiences. And you can see that it starts with my on the screen right now. It starts with initial contact and follow up, but that's prior to them becoming clients. This show today is about the client experience. So, therefore, it really does begin prior to it. And I want you to include that. But I'm going to be spending my time with once they become a client, what it is you want to do. So mine starts with the planning session, the third thing on the list. And you can see it's going up and down. That's just to give space so that I can write in the words and fill in the space in this graphic so that you can see it all in one screen. But the initial contact is first. Then the follow up is next in this timeline. The planning session is next in this timeline. And so I'm going to be talking about a handful of the things that are on this list today: the planning session, the photography session, the image selection, and the delivery and installation. Those are the ones I'm going to be talking about today, but we're going to be touching lightly on all of them. Number 6, open your creative mind to an insanely generous mindset. What can you give away? What can you personalize or do above and beyond reasonable expectations? How can you make clients feel special, valued, and a priority? I want you to remember something. This is just brainstorming. Free your mind from what you can't do and let your amazing mind work without restriction during this step. Allow your mind to think about both the big wow factors as well as small, thoughtful details that make clients feel cherished, all of which fall into my definition of wow moments and share worthy experiences. Now, if you feel like you need some help doing any of this, well, that's what I do. So I encourage you to reach out to me. You could do it in the comments. You could send me an email, jim@landersphotoschool.com, or you could take advantage of my special 20 for 20 deal. I might as well put that up on the screen. I'm going to share this later, but I'll put it on the screen real quick. So this is my 20 for 20 deal. It's $20 for 20 minutes of my time. You get a private session, private 20-minute session. I'll put up on the screen the QR code, so you can just use your phone uh, to to go straight there. But let's see, for those of you who can't do it that way, I'll put it up on the screen. So the address is calendly.com/photo school /2020. Yeah, I know it looks like a year, but I like my URLs as short as possible. Sometimes I make them way too long. Not this time, though. Yeah, so calendly.com/photo school /2020. So that's to take advantage of my 24/20 deal for you guys today. All right. Tell me something. Are you guys getting something out of this discussion? If so, will you let me know in the comments? Tell me. Tell me what you've heard. Tell me that this is helping. Just say thank you. Something. Interact with me just a little bit. I want to know who's here and I want to know that you're getting something from this lesson. All right. Let's move on to the planning session. And I'll put that up on the screen temporarily. Planning session. This is the first major step once a prospect becomes a client. This planning session is what I call a design consultation. Now, that's what I call it in my own business. When I'm teaching it, I do say planning session, but I want you to give each one of the touch points a name that's just for you. It's kind of like if you sold pies, you're going to give a name to each one of them. You know, if you're a baker, you're not going to just say I sell pies and have people just choose the ones that they want just by sight. You're going to say cherry pie, apple pie, chocolate pie. You're going to put the name next to it. I want you to name everything that you do. The same thing as giving each thing that you own a home. I believe in that because I don't want to give you an example. I don't want to be looking around for my keys. I put my keys in one spot. I never look for my keys ever. It's not something I do because I put them in the same place every single time. This helps you. This same philosophy helps you with your business. The planning session is what sets the tone for the entire client experience. Now, it is somewhat set during those initial stages of the initial contact, talking to them on the phone and follow up. But it is really set when you get to the planning session. The planning session is an opportunity to build a strong working relationship with your client. In fact, every single step along the way is. It's essential for both the creative process and ensuring an excellent experience for them and for you. Custom portraiture is a collaborative process between you and your clients. This is where you learn about them and plan the goals for the session by asking questions such as what's most important to you about your family, about your high school senior year, about whatever it is that you are asked that you are photographing for them. That's what you want to ask what's most important. You don't want to ask about the photography. That's you. You're the one who knows that side. You want to ask them about what's most important to them about the reason they came to you. What's most important to you about your family if they came to you asking for a family portrait? The small conscious choices that you make during this step are going to shape the perception and how they feel about the artwork later. By focusing on what's most important to them, guiding them with confidence and conveying understanding, you plant the seeds for an amazing experience. This leads to clients feeling listened to and cared for, which develops the trust needed to create something deeply meaningful. This strong relationship will cause you to create more beautiful emotional work that will make clients cry tears of joy every time they see it, hopefully on their wall. Now, let me talk about some specific steps after I get myself some water. I want to talk about some specific steps about an effective design consultation or planning session. Prepare first by blocking time, have a plan, and reviewing client details. Then provide a warm, enthusiastic greeting before asking caring questions to truly understand their hopes and their vision. I want you to confidently guide them through the next steps so that they will be taking they're going to be going through a lot of steps with you. And I want to make sure that they are clear on what those steps are going to be, what it is you're going to do, what it is they are going to do, what you expect of them, what they can expect of you, all the way through. Not just the next step as far as in the progression, but the entire timeline of steps. They need to know everything about what it is that you do so that they can make an educated decision if you're the right tool for them. Now, at that point, they probably are the right tool because they've become a client, but they're still probably in that choice stage. And that is depending on how you do your timeline. So some people will take the payment over the phone right away, and other photographers will do this design consultation, this planning session, and at the end of it, start talking about the money side. And so that's your how you do it. So during my initial phone call before we get to this planning session, I tell them all the steps. I tell them how much I think it's going to cost. Now, why do I say how much I think it's going to cost? Because I don't know for sure yet what it is they're going to purchase from me. I sell prints. I don't know how many and what size. I don't know what frames they want. I don't know these things ahead of time. I can give them a ballpark estimate, and I do during the phone call. And if they want to move forward, great. Then we move into this design consultation, this planning session that we're talking about now. So confidently guide them through the next steps they will be taking when they work with you, like collecting the creation fee. That happens for me at the end of the planning session. Scheduling follow-ups, signing agreements, again, happens at the end of the planning session for me, not for everyone. This step in the client workflow establishes an experience your clients will rave about. It shows you're a professional, laser focused on delivering amazing and meaningful portraits. I want you to think about a few things. The things you need to do to prepare your greeting and the direction the meeting is going to have. I want you to listen to them. Observe their body language so you can truly get to know them. I want you to ask this question that I already told you about. What's most important to you about? Now, this could be your family, your senior year, your significant other, whatever it is that you're going to photograph. Number four, focus on what's most important. Guide them with confidence, convey understanding. Next, collect the creation fee, add them to your schedule. Get the agreement signed. I call it an agreement. You may call it a contract. Ask for money by looking them straight in the eye. It's normal to ask for money when it comes to business. So treat it as normal. If you come across as uncomfortable when you say how much it's going to cost and you're asking them effectively for payment now, look them in the eye. Otherwise, they may think you're trying to be deceptive, even though you're just a little bit uncomfortable about asking for money. If you want to convey that you're uncomfortable with the money side, then don't look them in the eye. If that's not what you want to convey, you want to come across as this is the norm, then look them in the eye when talking about money. I think you should look them in the eye nearly every single moment, but especially when asking for money. I want you to schedule both the session and the viewing session. Now, I call the viewing session the portrait selection consultation because that's what I'm asking them to do during the session to select their portraits, what it is that they want to own. I mean, if they're booking with you right now at this planning session, they have their calendar out to talk about when the session is going to be. So you might as well get both things on the schedule. So You have to decide on your timeline how much time you need after the session is completed. It could be a day, it could be same day, it could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, it could be longer, it depends on what it is that you do. But you need to define what it is that you do so that you know when you can put this on the calendar. Why ask them to take out their calendar multiple times? Besides, what happens if you have difficulty getting a hold of them? Because they're busy. They have lives, you have lives. You have a life. So put that on anything you can do now, do it now. Take care of it now. And then sign the confirmation agreement. Now, here are the action items for the planning session step. First, give your planning session a name. It could be planning session if you want. Mine is design consultation, but give it a name. Second, describe what the planning session is from your client's point of view. Make it clear why it's beneficial to them. Then I want you to write out the steps of your planning session. And then the second to last of this, I want you to create a visual timeline so you can see it and more easily notice areas for improvement. And then once you've got that down, I want you to practice this with a friend. Do some role playing so that you can become more confident before you're uncomfortable in front of a client. Practice it with a friend. All right, so that is the planning session. If this is resonating with you today, will you do me a favor? Go to the comment section, just write the word yes. Now, if you want to elaborate, you want to give more, that's fine. But at the very least, will you do me a favor and write the word yes in the comment section? Nice. Thank you, guys. I'm looking at the comment section right now. You guys are awesome. I appreciate those kind words. It says Facebook user, so I don't actually know who's saying it, but man, I appreciate it. There's a lot of you here today. I'm excited to see. By the way, we are simulcasting this show to multiple different places, 8 different places, and so you may be on a Facebook group, you may be on a YouTube channel, you could be on a LinkedIn page watching us today, but you won't be able to see everybody else. I can see somewhat everybody else. I can see who registers, and I can see the comments of those who even don't register or who are on Facebook. It just says Facebook user to me. So, by the way, if you want to register, and you do not have to, then grant StreamYard, that's the platform we use, permission to see your name at streamyard.com/Facebook. That gives StreamYard permission to show me your name. And it only works with Facebook. When you post on YouTube and LinkedIn, LinkedIn, it doesn't show me anything. On YouTube, it just says YouTube user. It's how it shows it to me. So there isn't any registering there. But Facebook, if you're watching on Facebook, then it allows that. So pretty cool deal. All right, let's move on to the photography session itself. The part that is the stereotype, the part that most of us like the best. This next major step is another opportunity to continue building a strong working relationship while creating an environment that maximizes both your creative processes and achieving the client's goals. Throughout your time with them, your clients, maintain an attitude that everything seems perfect. Everything seems amazing, regardless of any internal stresses that you may be experiencing at the moment. Throughout this process of working with them when they are right in front of you, guys, you're on stage. You are in the spotlight. Now, you're putting them in the spotlight when you're photographing them, but they are looking at you for guidance. They are looking at you as the expert. So, therefore, anything that you are going through goes away momentarily. Your issues at this point are irrelevant. This moment isn't about you, It's entirely about them. Let's talk about the preparation for your session. As with everything you do, preparation is vital. So send an email, send a text, send out, uh, get on the phone and give them reminders. Get all your gear cleaned up ahead of time. Get it ready. Plan your approach. What is it you're going to do? Is the goal to just wander and wander around some area? Is that the goal? I mean, if it is, great. If they want to do that, if you've got time to do that, which most of us don't, but too many of us give anyway because we haven't planned effectively. If I prefer to plan what I'm going to do. Now, that doesn't mean that's the only thing I'm going to do because things pop up as you're doing them. So obviously, you're going to be flexible, but plan what you're going to do so you don't waste anyone's time. You don't want to waste yours. You don't want to be rude and waste theirs. So do it in a short amount of time, but not rushing. Don't linger. Don't roam around unless that's the plan. And review your clients' details ahead of time, like their names, ages, their interests, so that you're ready to go. Their preferences. I want you to ensure that you have at least their contact information in case you need to reach out to them if you're on location. Let's say you're at a place that might be difficult for them to find you. You need to be able to reach out to them. They need to be able to reach out to you. So exchange cell phone numbers. Make sure you give yourself plenty of time to arrive early. You want that feeling of calm when you're about to start your session. If you're worried and scared because you have run into some traffic, and by the way, I am very guilty of this. I've done this so many times where I've been running late. It's not beneficial to you or them. So be better than I was in a lot of situations. I'm not saying I was always late. I just know that I was late sometimes. It's not beneficial to you or them. It gives you anxiety. It gives them anxiety. So give yourself plenty of time to arrive early. That way you're feeling calm and ready to go. And begin when they arrive with a warm welcome. When the clients arrive, greet them with enthusiasm, happiness, professionalism, and confidence. I want you to show appreciation for the efforts that they put into preparing. Compliment them on their outfits, their appearance. I mean, you could comment that your hair looks beautiful. Something that shows appreciation for the steps that they had to take, the efforts that they had to make in order to be there. You're not the only one who has preparation to do. They do too. Show appreciation for it. During the session itself, after we've talked to them and exchanged pleasantries, let's get going. As we go through that process of photographing them, comment. Say, "Oh my gosh, this is it. This is the perfect one for above the fireplace like we talked about." Or, "Oh man, this is the one grandma is going to love. How about this? That one's going to look amazing on your wall." These kinds of comments show you know what you're doing. They show that you understand what it is that they want, that you guys talked about during the planning session, and they reinforce what you do. In my instance, if I sell wall portraits, get the images you planned, then get going. Clients do not appreciate wasted time. There may be a weird little voice in your head that tells you if you spend more time with you, or if you spend more time with them, they will appreciate it and might buy more because you spent more time with them. Guys, it doesn't work that way. It's inverse. If you waste their time, they are less likely to spend more money with you because they want to spend less time with you. That little voice that said, spend more time with them, they're going to appreciate it. Roaming around some pretty place, unless that's part of the plan, that little voice is often wrong. No, you are the director, creating an amazing stress-free experience. So guide them through what to expect. Make them comfortable. Use your skills to naturally capture authentic moments. Build anticipation with comments like, that one will look great above the fireplace. Now, once we have completed the photography session and it's time to wrap up, as you're wrapping up, congratulate them on doing a great job. So I've come across there's a program that I have called the Practical, and that's where I go with you and I'm there while you're photographing something so that I can evaluate what you're doing and give you some more insight on how to improve your session. And one of the things I notice often is the ending of a session, it's just some kind of a anticlimactic moment. It just kind of slowly goes away. There's no plan for it. There's no official exit words that you use. So plan that. Congratulate them on doing an excellent job. Say, all right, this has been great. You guys were fantastic. I have loved working with you today. I can't wait to go through these images and then share them with you. So explain clearly what happens next. Remind them of anything that they need to do, if that's part of your timeline, what you'll be doing, and roughly when they'll hear from you about next steps. Open communication enhances their positive experience. I mean, wouldn't you say that when you're a client? Now, after that, we do need to follow up. So, send a follow up email message that same day. Thank them. Reminisce about a fun moment that you experienced while with them. Maybe share a quote that they said that got your attention, and remind them about upcoming details like the viewing session, what I call the portrait selection consultation. This continues that premium experience with you. By combining a personal touch, clear communication, and your photography talents, excuse me, by combining a personal touch, clear communication, and your photography talents, you've now delighted the client in a way that generates excitement for the portraits they'll soon get to enjoy. How you feel about all that so far? You enjoying this? I hope so. Let me give you some action items for the photography session. First, I want you to describe what the portrait session is from your client's point of view. I want you to write out the steps of your portrait session, from the prep that you do, to the greeting, to the session itself, to the exit. Create a visual timeline so that you can see it and more easily notice areas for improvement. I say put it on the wall, put it on a string. Each step is a separate piece of paper on the wall or on the string, and you can move them around, add things. You can see where you have gaps or where you can improve. Create a checklist of the items you need to do the work you need to do. That way, you're always prepared with the things that you need while at your photo session. You do me a favor, make sure you click that like button each time you hear something you like, or the love button. I like getting love. Click that like button whenever you hear something you like. If you're on your cell phone, do you know you can click that multiple times? If you're on your computer, for some reason, it only allows it once. At least mine. All right, let's move on to the portrait selection consultation. Now, that's what I call it. Not everyone is going to call it that. When it comes to unveiling the images for the first time, there are different approaches photographers can take. What I'll share here is one method that has worked well for my business. Again, this is just one method. You do whatever works best for you. The portrait selection consultation is just your opportunity to share your images. Some people do it online. Some people don't do it at all. They just send digital files. So your process is your process. I choose to walk them, handhold them through the process because this isn't something they do every day. It is something that I do every day. And so I want my premium experience to walk them through the entire process. Kind of like roofing. We all know how to use a hammer and nail. So all of us actually could put a roof up as long as that roof isn't too steep because we know how to do it. But I don't want to be that kind of service business. I want to do all the work for my clients. I don't want to give them any more work than they have to do. They already have to prepare for the session, getting clothes, especially mom is a family portrait. She's got to get everybody together, get everybody's clothes together, make sure that it matches, make sure that everybody's up and leaving it on time so they can be on time. There's a lot of stuff for them to do. Why would I want to give them more? To me, that's just plain rude. But that's my perception. And I don't look down on someone who has a different perception than I do. I think we need all types. I love having all types, especially because it's really easy to sell against those types. That's just a little aside because I do sell against those. Preparation. Obviously, you have to do preparation to prepare for showing your images. It starts by downloading your images onto your computer and then culling them. No matter what, you'll want to narrow down the images that you're going to share with them. That's my opinion, but I believe you need to narrow them down. I don't think you show every single image that you created. And if you're printing your work, then cull it down to only your best, absolute best work that you know is going to look good printed. I'd say around 20 to 40 images is the ideal amount to show for a portrait photography session. That number can change based on the type of work you're doing and the number of people you're photographing. But the bottom line is, relatively speaking, don't give them too many choices here. You're the professional, and anytime someone has too many choices, they may become overwhelmed. They may ask to finish up at a later date. You don't have that as part of your timeline to have multiple viewing sessions. You want to finish now. You want them to be able to finish now. That's the goal. You don't want them to ask to get the images on a USB drive or put them online so they can do it on their own without you. That's not part of your process if you choose to do it that way. It's not part of my process. Again, you do this the way you feel is best. So if this isn't your process, then you must take steps to make sure that request doesn't happen. I want you to make sure you have all your tech ready. For me, that's a projector, presentation software, anything else you need to seamlessly display your images in an appropriate size and in stunning quality. Again, this is me. I project my images on the wall that we've already talked about that their image is going to be displayed on in the size that is appropriate for the space. I also recommend that you dress sharply. Not everybody will agree with that, but that's me. I believe that if I am giving a premium experience, that I need to look the part. That's just me. You do not have to agree with that. There are plenty of clients who are not going to be bothered by that, but it is just me. I believe in dressing sharply. And if it's at their home, if I'm doing this the viewing session at their home, let them know that you're going to arrive a few minutes early to set up and get everything started and get yourself settled. That may mean 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but let them know that you're going to arrive just a few minutes early so that you can get set up and your goal is to start on time, not arrive on time. But again, this is yours. You do it your way. It might be better in your situation to say, I'm going to arrive at 6 o'clock in the evening. It will take me X amount of minutes to get started and then, or to get prepared, and then we get started. Up to you. You have to define your process and convey that to your client. Now, when it comes to showing your images, I want you to set the stage by by making things the way you want them to. That may be choreographing the room, creating an air of anticipation and excitement. I like to begin with the image I predict will be their favorite, the one they're going to have on the wall where we're projecting it. I'm going to be, again, projecting it in the appropriate size for the space, which a lot of times most people would put in the big category, but I don't use that word. I use the word appropriate. I have seen 8 by 10s behind a couch. Guys, that makes no sense. It looks like a postage stamp that's been put in the middle of a letter. It doesn't fit. It's not the right it's not the right place. It's not the right size. I project in the appropriate size for the space that it's going to be displayed in. And then I show it to them. I tell them how much it's going to cost to have it there. And sometimes they say, "Oh, wow. Okay. Well, you did tell me it was going to cost about that much. All right. Can I see it in one size smaller?" So I show them in one size smaller. That way they can see that and know what that price is. That way they can choose what it is that they want. Just part of the process. It's my process. You can do it that way if you want. You don't have to. From here, you'll move through the collection of images that you have to share with them, carefully observing their reactions, maybe even taking some notes on any feedback that they're providing. I don't remember everything that they said. I intend to, I want to, but they're going to say a lot of things during this process. So I just take notes as they're writing, as they're enjoying these images. I also believe that you need to provide context when needed to help shape their perspective. If any objections or concerns come up, address them directly and quickly to keep that momentum going. Before we even start that process, I tell them, I want to have an open communication. I want you to be able to share your thoughts. If you Now, I do give one rule, and that's you can't make fun of yourself. You can't, there's no self-deprecating stuff going on there. There's no, oh, I look horrible today. I looked horrible. My hair was horrible. My makeup was what you nope, can't do it because your significant other loves you like that. They think you look fantastic. And you're taking them down a notch by taking yourself down a notch. Not fair. We're not going to do it when I'm around. I tell them this ahead of time. Now, if you want to comment about your someone else in the family, their hair, that's fine. But you can't you don't take yourself down a notch during this process. Now, if your hair's totally windblown or something, obviously there that's a different thing. But nothing if the hair looks if the hair actually looks perfect and your significant other would say, "Oh my gosh, what are you talking about? You look great." Then you can't say anything negative about that. You can't talk bad about yourself. Too many people are so freaking harsh on on themselves that that takes away from the experience I'm trying to give them. So I tell them ahead of time, that's not what I want for you to have as an experience. I want this to feel fantastic. If you think your spouse looks fantastic, I want you to tell them. Don't keep that to yourself. Say, "Oh my gosh, that is a wonderful smile." Tell them. Open communication. Address them quickly, directly. We want to keep that momentum going. Reduce the images to just the ones they want to own through a process of elimination. Get the sizes and the extras that they want. When it comes to frames, I tell them what the appropriate frame is for that photograph and their room. They trust me as an expert, but I also throw in the guarantee of if they don't like my choice, I'll replace it at my expense. And yes, I charge enough where I can afford to do that. That's important. Don't cause yourself to go out of business because of that, a choice like that. Once you've gotten the sizes and the extras that they want, then it's time to confidently present the total price of their investment. Now, it may take you a moment to add it up, but this is the time to confidently present the total price of their investment. Look them in the eye. I said this before. Look them in the eye This shouldn't feel awkward. You're simply doing business and providing an amazing product and service that they're going to cherish forever. Final steps: collect that payment for the sale, preferably 100%, but maybe you choose to have some kind of a payment arrangement. I would say collect at least 50% of the sale up front before proceeding to the editing and product ordering phase. Make sure you clearly outline all the next steps so they know exactly what to expect moving forward. If applicable, get the final delivery and install scheduled as well. Meaning, if you do that kind of thing, I deliver and install. So therefore, I'm putting it on the schedule right then and there when I'm just after I've accepted the payment. Now, once you're done, follow up. Once you get back to your home or office, send a follow up message reinforcing all these details so nothing falls through the cracks. While photographers have different strategies here, the keys are limiting overwhelming choices, choreographing an experience around the big reveal moment, guiding them through with confidence in choosing images, closing the sale, and ensuring a smooth transition to bring their artwork to life. By going through a fine tuning process to enhance your work and get it prepared to send to your printer. When you get the portrait selection consultation right, you've allowed the client to get emotionally invested in their portraits. You've secured the sale at the pricing that you deserve that causes you to reach your goals. And you have set crystal clear expectations for delivering the heirloom quality artwork that they're going to cherish for generations. Here are the action items for the portrait selection consultation. First, describe what the portrait selection consultation is from your client's point of view, making it clear what is going to happen and why doing it the way that you will be doing it is beneficial to them. Second, write out the steps for your portrait selection consultation from the preparation to the greeting, the portrait selection consultation session itself, how you're going to show the images, how you take the money, how you exit, and your follow-up message. Write it all out. And then create a visual timeline for it. It's so much easier to see it when it's in timeline form. Again, there's mine. So something like that could be as simple as that. That's my timeline. That's those steps that I go through. Now let's talk about the delivery and installation if you do installation. There are numerous ways photographers handle the delivery of their finished product. It could be digital files. It could be delivering completed works of art ready to be displayed. So I'll walk you through the approach that has worked incredibly well for me. Again, I'm not telling you to do it my way. I'm telling you my way has worked for me. The delivery stage is where you present your priceless finished products to your client. And in my process, installing their wall portraits. It's the exciting, long awaited grand unveiling of your beautiful work. So you prepare for it. Do all the things that you need to do to have to make this thing happen. So I think you should start off by following up. Start by ensuring everything is progressing smoothly at the printer, and make sure that you're doing exactly what it is that you have committed to do. Product preparation. Once you get the prints back from the printer, check to make sure that everything is there. Make sure that it's correct, that you're happy with it. I sign my work because I'm an artist. You do not have to do that. That's totally up to you. A lot of people have a different point of view on that. I've heard people say, I don't think anybody wants my logo on their work. I don't put a logo on it. I hand sign it, just like the artists in the museum. I am an artist. I sign my work. I think it's as simple as that. But that's just me. I also label my work on the back. It has my contact information so they can reach out to me in case they need to. It has my job information, the job number. It has the date that it was photographed. So all that kind of stuff. And then package everything with care and Maybe you have some presentation boxes or wraps that convey luxury. I would suggest boxes with your logo imprinted in gold foil. That's what I do. So I've got boxes and gold foil logo on them. Decide how you'll wow them with an unboxing experience that they're never going to forget. And maybe even use your cell phone to record it. Up to you. Good marketing tip. Your amazing art deserves an unforgettable reveal. Schedule the delivery. Once you've processed the prints and they are ready for delivery, call the client to confirm completion and arrange delivery details. On that call, if they have a remaining balance, which I try to get my clients to pay up front, and almost always they do, because I've told them that from the beginning that that's how I do business. Remind if they have a balance though, remind them of it on that phone call when you're calling to schedule to come out to deliver it. Remind them of that balance and either collect that payment right now over the phone before you head their way, or make sure that they will be in a position to take care of it when you do arrive. Otherwise, find out when they can take care of it and schedule the delivery then. By the way, if they haven't paid for their photographs, you don't take care of it. You go and you install the photographs on the wall, and then you ask them to take care of their balance. You have a problem that could have been prevented. So just don't allow that problem to happen. That's called thinking things through. Now, let's talk about the delivery itself. When you arrive for delivery, you want to spark excitement by expressing how eager you are for them to see your artwork. Maybe even unveil the prints with some flourish, like ta-da, or just something that says, I am excited about this, something that conveys that you're excited about this. You are excited about it, so convey it. Come up with some cool way of making that happen. You're creative. You can do it. You want the craftsmanship to speak for itself as you present each piece, but you also want to add in your own flair. Observe them as they soak in the magic of seeing their images, and reassure that if there are any final revisions that they feel are needed, that you've got their back. I'm not even slightly interested in their satisfaction. The goal for me is that they are thrilled. I don't want people coming over to their home and saying, "Oh my gosh, beautiful family portrait." And they say, "Oh yeah, yeah, it was good." That's not the result I'm after. I am after them saying, "Oh my gosh, that was the best experience I've ever had with a photographer." You've got to reach out to them. That's the reaction I want. I bet that's the reaction you want too. Now, the installation, confirm that print location before you install it. It hasn't changed, but confirm it anyway. Then photograph them standing next to it once you have it installed. And if possible, create a testimonial video of them sharing how happy they are standing next to their beautiful wall portrait. Now, before you leave, you want to verbally recap the amazing experience you've had with working with them to create these amazing, beautiful, precious portraits. Express your gratitude and that you can't wait for them to enjoy these images, these prints for years to come. Final steps of this process, a thank you note. I'd say that same day, maybe the next if it's later in the day, but send a handwritten thank you note in the mail to really drive home that premium experience. I believe you should create your own custom thank you notes. I mean, that just adds another touch to it. The final follow up within a week or two with a phone call to ensure that they're still thrilled with their prints. That way, if they have any questions or concerns, you can take care of it right now, immediately. How do you guys feel about all that? Has this been fun? Excited? Can you do this? I know not everything that I do is going to be what you do. That's fine. That's wonderful. You just got some insight into one person's way of doing it. There's probably a lot more detail that I could have shared, but I only have an hour to share it in, and I'm looking at the time and I'm going a little bit over already. So, if you would like some specific help on any part of creating the process that wows your clients, I will personally help you. And I'm going to give you a special deal in order to make that happen. I mentioned it earlier. This is the 2420 deal. And here is the QR code for that. And I'm going to also share with you on the screen, just in case you can't use that QR code. There's the address, calendly.com/photo school/2020. That's how you get on my calendar for a 20-minute private session about what we've talked about today to make it specific for you. You can tell that all the things I'm talking about aren't specific to you. So let's talk about what would be specific for you. All right, man, isn't this fun? I'm so glad that you guys are here with me today. I hope you have appreciated this. I hope that this is something that you can visualize and that you can feel. There are so many ways to develop your ideal client workflow. I've shared one. It went from the planning session to the delivery and beyond. But by meticulously planning and implementing each stage, you create a cohesive premium experience that allows your skills and artistic eye to truly shine while giving your clients the fantastic experience that you want for them, transforming your clients into raving fans. Take time today to design your ideal client workflow that is true to your brand, your style, and your definition of an exceptional client experience. Define what that share worthy experience looks like. Then reverse engineer the strategic work streams, personal touches, and wow moments to bring that vision to life at every touch point. Implement it with confidence, and I'm certain you'll quickly see the difference it makes in your business and your life. It takes work, it takes commitment, but the returns in terms of referrals, loyalty, pricing power, and simply feeling proud of the experience you offer, well, that's what separates you from commoditized competitors and attracts your ideal, value driven, ideal clients. You've got this. I hope you found tremendous value in this session today. Stay awesome and go create raving fans. Now, as you know, the Portrait Profit Show happens every single Monday. So I'm going to share with you the the next two upcoming shows. The first is, can you believe it's already April? So, yep, April 1st. It's April Fool's Day, but we have a live show on that day called The Entire Client Sales Process. We're going to be talking about the specifics of the process. It'll be very similar to today, just has a different purpose in mind. But the entire client sales process. What are the things you need to do and say to cause what you want to happen to happen? You deserve, and not only deserve, you should be doing what's best for you and for your clients, not just for your clients. You're not an order taker saying, would you like fries with that? No, you are creating the process that is the best because you are experienced and you know what the best is. Now, does that mean everyone's going to agree? No, nor do I want everyone to agree. I don't have time to photograph everyone. I only have time to photograph those who I really want to work with, that I'm excited about working with. Put this on your calendar. April 1st, Monday, April 1st at noon, the entire client sales process. And then on April 8th, that's the second Monday of the month where we move the time to 6:30 in the evening and we have a panel discussion where we bring on some other photographers, and this time to get their different opinions. And this time we're going to be talking about how I give my clients the best experience. Yep. 3 in a row where we're talking about this kind of thing. But this one will come from other portrait photographers, how they give their clients the best experience. I'm going to ask them questions. They get to answer those questions so you can hear the answers in 3 different points of view, up to 3. So April 8th, that one is at 6:30. Make sure you mark that on your calendar correctly. All of our shows are at noon, except for the second Monday of each month. That's what this one is. Man, hope that this episode of the Portrait Profit Show has been beneficial to your growth as a professional photographer. This lesson provides ideas, steps, and structure for your portrait photography business. You have a lot of work to do to make everything work. I hope you know that I want you to be successful in your business. I help portrait photographers reach their goals, even when they don't know what to do yet. I love this stuff. So reach out to me. Take advantage of my 2020, 24/20 deal. And I want to thank you guys for investing your time and attention here today. And thank you for the efforts that you make every day to be such an amazing portrait photographer. I encourage you to like, I encourage you to share the Portrait Profit Show. Let others know. And of course, tune in to our next live stream a week from today at noon. Together, we help each other achieve our goals and make a difference in the world through our passion for portrait photography. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, my name is Jim Landers, and I'm bringing you the weekly Portrait Profit Show. So until next time, Lens Legends, keep thriving, keep growing, and keep making your mark in the world of portrait photography. I look forward to watching you grow. Bye for now.